United as it confronts Libyan opponents Al Nassr Benghazi and Al Acta respectively. Following massive wins, 5-0 thumping of their Libyan counterparts, while Plateau United got a 4-1 win at the Emco National Stadium in Abuja. So look at how they can consolidate on those first leg massive wins to ensure they reach the group stage of the CAF Confederations Cup. In fine details. Welcome, guys. From whom and ahead of the new campaign. Well, we hear that 2020-2021 MPFL champions Akwa United will later tomorrow Thursday engage Nordic Football Academy in what will be a pre-season friendly. Now, the friendly match between Akwa United and Nordic Football Academy will take place at the training pitch of the Godswill Akpabio International Stadium tomorrow in the morning. We understand. Well, head coach DG Ayeni, who used to again further test his team ahead of the new campaign. The two-time Nigerian Federations Cup champions have already engaged in series of friendly matches, prominent amongst them being games against Katsina United at their kit Stadium Inauguration Day, Yimba International in Aba, Enugu Rangers, Abia Warriors, and Rivers United. Preparations continue with the friendly game. And against this high-flying Nordic Football Academy later tomorrow. Well, for Nordic, the game means is that they have another opportunity to further advance their rating as one of the football academies to look forward to here in the country. All right, so well, they've got a history of rolling out some very fabulous players, and we're hoping that the opportunity will unearth some new talent. So the football academy is there and has some accommodation facilities for its staff and players, and is supervised by a former Akwa United player, talking about Boniface, head coach Hope Mike, and the whole setup. Certainly looking forward to the test against the Promise Keepers later tomorrow. Now let's step it up a little bit and talk about the national team gliding. The president of the NFF, Alhaji Ibrahim Musa Gusau, has told the Super Eagles to go for victory as a team is set to take in World Cup bound Costa Rica in the friendly game in San Jose in the early hours of tomorrow Thursday. The president made a call this morning shortly after the team's lunch at the hotel facility in San Jose, Costa Rica. Well, he was speaking through the leader of the delegation of the NFF and the executive committee member, Otumba Sunday Dele Ajayi, further calling the Super Eagles to be worthy ambassadors of the nation, as he vowed that the NFF Executive Committee under his watch will not relent in its quest to reposition Nigerian football going forward. Well, sounds like a lot of political talk here. Well, the Super Eagles battle World Cup bound Los Ticos at the Estadio Nacional in San Jose, 8 p.m. local time, but that will be 3 a.m. Thursday morning here in Nigeria, well, the lads have been charged to go for the kill, go for victory.
I'm saying the same thing. Go for the kill. Show a different level of class. Last time I have a set of home-based Eagles play against Mexico, it was disastrous. And it made us lose faith on the home-based Eagles. So this is a good opportunity for them to prove themselves, show a different level of class against the Costa Ricans. For me, it's not a very difficult game from that standpoint. Yes, I know they're playing away from home, which has been the case for most Nigerian teams in recent times, considering the fact that we're not going to the World Cup. We're having some of these big teams call us to participate in games like this, of this magnitude, to set them in preparation for the World Cup participation. But for me, it's an exciting game, a good opportunity for some of these players to show a different kind of class. I look at the Costa Rican side too. I'm not expecting such a hugely difficult side. Maybe the bulk of players who play around South American League, I expect them, because a lot of European players wouldn't turn up for this competition or this particular game. So it's a relatively fair. Let's see how African players can measure up with not American players too, who are doing their bit for their country in preparedness for the World Cup. But it's a good opportunity for the team to do their bit, give a lot of energy, and who knows what can say. I think a draw wouldn't be a bad result from my standpoint, but if they get a win, it will be fantastic. But it would be wonderful if they fight not to lose this match.
Yeah, so we're looking forward to that fight. Before we leave there, beyond the venue of just grabbing a win, what are you most looking forward to for this squad, made of, homegrown talents mostly?
Good preparation, basically. The coach handling the team is Salisu Yusuf, who's also the handler of the under-23 side. And a couple of these players that are under-23 are part of this particular game. So good preparation for them. And for the home-based Eagles, a good opportunity for the coach also to find out players that he can feature when it has to do with Chan Eagle moving forward, probably next year or year next. So it's a good preparatory tournament for them. Good quality performance, if they give it, would account for some of these players. You never can tell. They might get exposed to clubs here and there, might be watching this game, and never can tell what might happen to them. They might move to Europe. But for me, it's nothing beyond that. For me, football is all about trying to get a win. If you can't get a win, try not to lose. That's what it is, especially in a friendly match. And it set the momentum to what can happen to you next.
For Nigerian clubs in CAF competitions. In the CAF competitions are cup play of second leg fixtures. Rivers United and Plate United are guests to Libyan clubs Al-Nassr Benghazi and Al-Aqda, respectively, while Bayelsa Queens play Asfa FC in the CAF Women's Champions League semi-finals. Now, for the CAF Competitions Cup campaigners, Rivers United and Plate United, a decent result in both games will see them qualify for the group stage of the CAF Competitions Cup. Rivers United hold a 5-0 aggregate lead over Al-Nassr Benghazi from the first leg in Nigeria last week. A kickoff for the Al-Nassr Benghazi versus Rivers United game is at 9 p.m. local time. That's about 8 p.m. Nigerian time. For Plate United, rather, have a 4-1 lead against Al-Aqda. The return fixture to be played at the Banana Stadium in Libya. Kickoff time is 4 p.m. later today. So we're talking exactly 46 minutes from now. Well, looks like it's a straightforward task. But will it be that straightforward when hostilities begin by 4 p.m. and 8 p.m. respectively? We're talking Nigerian time for Plate United and Rivers United, despite the commanding first leg victories.
It's a job that ought to be done. That's the way I look at it. Look, these teams are ready. That's why they had a resounding victory in the first leg. Moving to the second leg in Libya is going to be difficult. Hostility will be there. Difficulties will be there. Anything you can think of. All the antics we've seen from that preparation when allowed to train at some point. The floodlights were off. Difficult times for them. And the fans were heckling the players. But they expected it because they've seen it in the CAF competition, which they dropped out to contest in this particular Confederations Cup. So for me, I think the boys are ready. It's for them to put their acts together, put their focus together, play as a team, go for the kill, go for the win, try to score a goal or two. Because surely one thing is certain, there'll be a penalty against them. I can ascertain that. There'll be a penalty against either of the side. But in the long run, what you do throughout the space of 90 minutes will count. If you are able to score some goals, you make it difficult for the Libyan side. And I think that's what the Nigerian side should focus on. Not just sit back and defend, because you sit back and defend, then a red card comes. And we talked about it in the morning, especially talking carelessly to the referees. You never can tell, a yellow card one way or the other comes on you, and a red, and it puts the team in jeopardy, makes it quite difficult. For me, keep the focus down, play the game, defend as a unit, attack as a unit, play the high block system, find a way to score a goal or two. You were able to score 5 goals in the first half, score in this one. You're able to score 4 goals in the first leg, score in this one. That's the ordinance of this particular game for me.
Yeah, stay disciplined. Well, don't argue with the referee. You know, he's the center referee and he's the man in charge. Whatever call you get in your favor or not, or just move on, play the game, all right? Well, I hope Leeds United and Rivers United are listening. The semi-final opponents that faced Liga today, Asfa FC, finished top of Group A with a perfect record on home soil. With the CAF Women's Champions League hosted in Morocco, Asfa will enjoy massive home support on the battle with the Nigerian ladies by 8 p.m. Liga today for a place in the final. The other semi-finalists will be Melody Sundowns taking on Simba Queens. Well, for Rivers United and Plateau, following first leg commanding victories, well, it looks like the task is simple, at least on paper, consolidates the first leg wins. Yeah. But for Bayelsa Queens against Asfa of Morocco, was a different complexity. They're playing against almost everything. They're playing against Asfa, they're playing against the Moroccan crowd, playing against every single thing. How do they keep their cool? How do they keep their calm, keep their composure? And what exactly beyond that do they need to do to progress to the finals of this competition on their debut?
For me, it's a difficult game, quite difficult game, because you look at the Asfa of Rabat side. They're a top-notch side. Last season, the maiden edition of this competition, they reached the 3rd place. Won that at the 3rd place, couldn't reach the final. But such a quality side, especially when you're playing at home, there'll be dominance, the fans will be there cheering you up, and a typical Northern African system. So it's going to be quite difficult, but one peculiarity about this side would be the playing style. They love to pass the ball around. Maybe not at the same level with what's obtainable in Europe, the same level of fluidity, but they pass the ball around, try to play exciting. We saw Morocco at the Nations Cup, which had beaten Nigeria at the time, playing quite an exciting style of game. But you look at the Nigerian point of view too, we have a style of game. A style of game is to pump, to run, put you on the race, make it difficult for the sides, play from the wing, and I'm expecting that to come to fore today. I saw the Nigerian side play against TP Mozambique in the other round of the competition, and they did quite well. It was frustrating for TP, but they qualified and played quite well. So I want the same momentum in this particular game. Stop the Asfa side from knocking the ball around the way they wish to do it. Just as we saw the under-17 girls play at the under-17 World Cup. They stopped knocking sides from playing their games while they added the runs into their game. Bring in a lot of strength. Moroccans are not very physical. Bring in a lot of strength against them. Play the high block and find a way to score goals. You never can tell. Fans don't get to play games. They can only cheer. So be resolute. I love what the coach was saying in this particular game. He said, well, we know we're playing against the home side. The fans will be cheering them. But one thing is certain. The fans cannot play this game. They'll only be on the stand to cheer. It's going to be 11-11. So maximize all the opportunities you have and not be wasteful in this particular game.
Now, you talked about staying in the game, and of course being the faces of the Moroccans as much as possible. That takes a lot of energy.
Yeah.
Looking at the way Bayelsa Queens have played all through this particular campaign, you think that's something they can sustain, that kind of tempo? They can sustain that for the duration of the game, let's say 90 minutes or it drags for extra time or whatever the duration of the game is. You think they've got the mental stamina and the physical stamina to stay in the game for that long?
For me, I think the key way is find the first goal. You get the first goal and make it difficult for the Moroccans. They'll be the ones to exhaust that energy coming at you if you're able to get a first goal. They can build from the first game they played against the South African side, the Sundown side, the such a quality side, defending champions. They were able to beat the Bayelsa Queens 2-1. Moving forward, you can consolidate on that. We played against the defending champions. It was a difficult game. We were able to score. How much more playing against the Moroccans? So building that, bring a lot of physicality to it. Find a way to score early. If you do that, you make it difficult for the Moroccans. But on the other hand, this is it, Brad, how difficult it can be for both teams. If the Nigerian side are playing the high block system, so what it means is we're the ones blocking you, but on top of the midfield, making it quite difficult for you. So if you can't play your style, the pressure is on you, not on us. So they can consolidate that way. In the long run, while the Moroccans are trying to break them down, they get a goal, and the Moroccans are frustrated. That's the picture I have of it. But it takes a lot of focus to do that. It takes a lot of energy to do that, and a level of consistency to get these wins and perform at the highest level this time.
We wish them the very best. Rivers United, Plateau United by Yosso Queens. It was teammates, the most consistent player during the month, scored 4 goals in 5 league appearances for Gian Piero Gasperini's side in October. Now, Lukman has so far scored 6 goals in 13 league games for Ladia this season, linked up with Atalanta from Bundesliga side RB Leipzig last summer. Atalanta versus Lecce. Versus Lecce in the Serie A clash, Lecce tonight. Well, this is very deserving. There's no debate about this, is there?
Surely, very deserving for me. Look, I talked about it the other time. When you look at the quality of the player, it seemed like Atlanta was made for him. Difficulties at English clubs for some while, but had a decent play time at Leicester City, but wasn't given enough opportunity or wasn't trusted enough. I've seen him with the Nigerian colours too, a little here, a little there, but not many games. But you definitely understand, if it's about pace, the player has the pace. It's about talent, he's got the talent, and I'm happy for him that it's happening for him at Atlanta. He's dominating proceedings, making all those runs, and the beauty about it is, before now, Udeme look at as a player, they'll run across from the wing and set the cross into the box for a striker to score. He's beginning to score goals, and consistently, that's the beauty of it. And who would be a better player to give a player of the month in Atlanta? Definitely Ademola Lookman.
Right now, before we leave Ademola Lookman, what's there in Italian football, what's there in Atalanta that has suited him so well and made it look like a match made in heaven?
I think one of the things from the Italian football would be the pace. You watch Italian football, not that a fast pace. So when you're fast, it's a good opportunity for you. You gain from it because the league is a bit slower compared to the English Premier League. I wouldn't want to talk about the Spanish league and German league, but compared to the English Premier League, it's a bit slower. So the player has gained from it. Why? Because he's such a quick player with so much pace to add to it. You look at the AC Milan lad too. He's playing quite well, not the Nigerian, the other folk. He's playing quite well because he's got pace. So if you have pace in the Italian Serie A, and you can have some good footwork, add it to the numbers, and you get to drift inside the box and score goals. That's basically what it is for Lookman. Exceptional player for me, and it's working out for him in Italy.
Right, great stuff, and we're certainly proud of Damian Udoma and the place turning out to be for the Italian side. I hope he replicates that form when he comes to play for Nigeria. That conversation. Now go to Europe and look at the conversations from there. Some games played yesterday. And you join the conversation here on 090-222-3101, 027-624-565. But everyone always wants to live on a high. A certain way you want the sending off to be or the send forth to be, whether it's in the primary school, secondary school, or the university. More like in life. Whether it's from one workplace to another, or from one country to another. wanted, if he had the choice, to do his send-off. I'm sure he would have liked it to be some on-field activity. But he didn't get that chance. Touchline at halftime against the referee. Robert Lewandowski was sent off in that particular game. It opening there. Well, Massa, the story is that they still came back to win. Goals from Pedri and a rare goal from this man, Rafinha. So that chapter closed. Standing lead at the top of the Spanish Primera División La Liga, irrespective of what Real Madrid do later tonight, Barca, at least until the World Cup finishes, or until at least after the World Cup will be top of La Liga. That's the story. Well, let's look at other results in a bit. But join conversation now. 748565090 222-31011 0817-624-8565, and let's get talking. Welcome, football fan. Name and location.
Good afternoon, sport analyst. Mr. Easy on the line.
No, Mr. Easy, good to have you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Let me quickly congratulate the Xavi Iniesta, the masterclass performance from a goal down and also a one-man down. Came away with the whole 3 points. That is the spirit that Barca used to have. And we, the performance, make us to fans Barcelona. Congratulations to them on the topping of the La Liga table. And let me come to England. And today we have what we call Carabao Cup. And Liverpool will be among the teams that we fans will be watched tonight. And I wish Jogging Club will now have opportunity to give a schoolboy their chance to impress. But that is one of the cup that makes we fans proud last season. So it should be cautioned on the way he arranged a schoolboy today. So because I need to progress to another round. That's my tip. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much for joining. We appreciate it.
Hello. Good afternoon, Brian.
Yeah, Victor, the Sport Oracle. Talk to us.
Yeah, good afternoon, the President and Island clients on the studio. Brian, really did for you to be bringing the trending issues on the board, Brian. My key vision is the Super Eagles of Nigeria, the way forward. Let me say that I'm not yet too confused the level of the football in Nigeria where we are right now. Because if the match I play against Portugal, the friendly match, the players have been invited because I just want to see a team that can go for the African Cup of Nations and prove something. So for the Rivers United, know that what happened to the team is not that nice, but the Rivers must win and consolidate. Let me with my team Chelsea victory today. Today's match against Manchester is a huge game for us to bring back ourselves again as far. That's my thing. Thank you for
Thank you for joining. And thank you, Blyden, for staying right here with us. Thank you. Football fan, what's your name? Where's your location?
Godwin, where's my back?
All right, Godwin, welcome. Talk to us.
And a Barcelona fan, by the way. I want to say that I'm very proud of my boys. I mean, they showed fight, they showed character, they showed resistance. They were able to, upon all the situation that happened, I mean, the red card, we even scored a goal. It was cancelled. So I'm really happy. If we eventually end up winning the league, I think this will be one of the games we'll look back to and say, we did it. Thank you.
Thank you very much for joining. We appreciate you.
Good afternoon, Bright.
Yeah, talk Ghana.
Bright, as Eagles indeed confront Costa Rica World Cup band players, Alan Super Eagles indeed are made up of academy players and some local lads. Never help them. Bright, Costa Rica players may play safe because of the World Cup to avoid injury. Just for Nigerian players that have nothing at stake, may do their all and win the match. But World Cup is fast approaching. 11 days ahead, I guess so. While the League of Different Nations is ongoing, injury concern is increasing. I believe Mali is the latest now. 20 games are also going. My question is, why can't the officials concerned stop their league? If any star player gets injured, they can't play in the World Cup. And World Cup is the height of every player's career. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much for joining. We'll tell you more about the World Cup, and we've got something massive for you as well. The Tapia Qatar Welcome Experience. I hope you don't forget about that. Murray joins the conversation now. Now keep the calls coming in. Friendly. It's a 4-1 win for the Bournemouth side. Elsewhere, Gillingham stunned Brentford. Full-time in it, Brentford won. Gillingham won on penalties. Gillingham progressed. Bristol City lost against Lincoln by a goal to 3. Burnley 3. Crawley Town 1. Leicester City 3. Newport County 0. James Justin, Jamie Vardy scoring twice, ensuring the Foxes had that massive win. Milton Dons, 2 winners over Morecambe Stevenage 1, Charlton Athletic 1, with Charlton progressing after the lot of penalties. Barca 2-1 away from home in the Serie A. Napoli are 8 points to the good as far as the top of the summit is concerned. Top of the La Liga, the but the goals is Luciano Spalletti's side, Spezia 1, Udinese 1. Beat Borussia Dortmund by 2-0. Bayern Munich 6-1 winnings over Werder Bremen. We'll talk about the only casualty in the game, the man Sadio Mane, World Cup doubt. Lasted only 15 minutes. Welcome to Borussia Mönchengladbach 1. Teams do well in the first part, and we can clearly see this is the first part for Napoli. Now, it's a brilliant campaign for them, and Luciano Spalletti started enjoying life every step of the way, domestically and in Europe. But the World Cup is here. We know what that break does. Now, talking to the future, you think they can sustain this momentum after the World Cup? And if yes, what do they need to keep together? What pieces do they need to keep together to ensure they carry on with this phenomenal run?
No, Bright, first up, it's good to be here, although I came a little late. The truth is, a bulk of the key players are not participating in the World Cup. Look at Victor Osimhen, for instance, plays for Nigeria because we won in the World Cup. Varashkela plays for Georgia. They didn't get to the World Cup as well. So I was looking at the lineup of the players at Napoli. First up, the Napoli players are basically, players gotten from, basically French players. If you look at it, the quality that they have in the squad. So there's no marking, there's no big name right there, and then both of them are Italian, so they also didn't qualify for the World Cup. Maybe a few names in Heaven Lozano for Mexico, maybe Alex Meret, Mario Rui for Portugal, but the rest of them are basically players who either didn't qualify for World Cup or they're not just key players for the team. Maybe Zamba and Gisa for the Cameroonian national team, but away from all of that, I think this Napoli team will still stay very compact and strong, and they'll give them a chance to even train in the midst of all of the World Cup campaign and all of that. Spalletti would have a chance to tweak tactics a little bit, train with the players, because bulk of them will still be with the squad. So I think they are the most fortunate of all of the teams in Europe right now, because bulk of their key players are not going to World Cup.
Right, so blessing in disguise. I'm blighted.
Well, but I think it's still going to be difficult. We've seen Napoli do this 2-3 seasons ago. They start very well, but the problem is always sustaining it. And look at last season, it was the same story. They were leading, topping the Serie A, and afterward, the slump. Same story 2 seasons ago. Topped the Serie A and slumped. So it's beginning to look difficult. I watched a game against Empoli last night. Good performance from the lad. But it took them 70 minutes to be able to score. Team are beginning to find out about Napoli. I think there's a narrative around Napoli that I see every season. When teams come against Napoli early season, they think, oh, it's Napoli. They come out to play. And Napoli begins to dominate proceedings and they begin to sit back, lock the holes, make it difficult from the midfield for Napoli to play. Yesterday, it took Victor Osimhen to have a quick feet on the ball to make the defender commit a penalty, and that opened the way for them. And they scored the penalty and began to win. It's beginning to be difficult for Napoli. Can they suspect? I think the World Cup is a blessing to them because it gives them that break as far as I'm concerned. So they can build again. It seems like a fresh start at the beginning of this January, right? At the beginning of January, it becomes a fresh start for them, and they try to build up and see if they can build that momentum to win it. I think this is a better Napoli than the Napoli I saw last year and 2 years ago. A bulk of a player is still around, but the momentum is totally different. I love what I'm seeing. I think they can go all the way, but it's going to take a lot of fight for them to achieve that.
I think I also believe that this will be a chance for Spalletti to try out his other French players, because the hallmark of a good team is strength in depth. You know, I look at Napoli. You know, once it's no Victor Osimhen, they look almost toothless. Once there's no Kvaratskhelia, there's no creativity. So I think the World Cup break is a chance for him to try out some players, because there's Raspadori on the bench. There's Giovanni Simeone on the bench as well. Look at the midfield options. If Zambo Anguissa is not there, it's almost impossible for them to be compact in the midfield. So maybe try out Tonga and Ndombele, Lobotka, and the rest of them. So I think all of this would afford them the chance to, patch up the few bits that they think they have, and then get prepared for the second half of the season. I think they have a chance as Serie A title this season. If they bottle it up, it'll be entirely their fault.
Now let's look at the Bayern Munich statement on Sadio Mane and the injury. Well, disregard media reports saying, Mane is out of the World Cup. That is a story official. What's official now, according to Bayern, is that Mane suffered an injury to the head of his right fibula in Bayern Munich's 6-1 win against Werder Bremen. The African Footballer of the Year will miss Saturday's game against Schalke. Further examinations will follow in the coming days. Bayern is also in contact with the medical staff of the Senegalese Football Association. Now that's what's official. We'll tell you if we have something otherwise. He might rush and be fit for the World Cup, but it can't be 100%. And if it's not 100, that has got to be dangerous for the player and for the national team.
Yeah, right. I think in the midst of all of the talk of Sadio Mane getting to the World Cup and the fact that he's crucial to the Senegalese national team, let's also put on factor in place the Sadio Mane factor. I mean, his health and his his himself basically is also a factor in this conversation, because if he's not good enough, if he's not fit, it might be a problem. And then let's also look at Sadio Mane post World Cup, because we see stories where players go to the World Cup, get injured, and then never recover well till they retire.
Kaka.
You remember Kaka. So let's also consider Sadio Mane and all of that. So yes, we want him to play for Senegal and of course recover for the World Cup. But the injury stuff, once it's aggravated, you never recover again. You have to retire. And then Sadio Mane, look at the quality he has. It will be a big miss for not just Senegal but for football entirely. So let's also look at Sadio Mane. Yes, he's going to be good, but let's what's his name now? The coach Keita, Geoff rather gets a replacement, for Sadio Mane. There's Keita Balde.
Is there a replacement for Sadio Mane?
But somebody that would that give them something like that. Maybe Keita, maybe somebody, but just a backup plan, because Sadio Mane right now is uncertain that he's going to play at the World Cup.
For me, Bright, it's very sad that most likely will miss the African Footballer of the Year. I look at the World Cup yesterday. It's all about the key moment for an African Footballer of the Year, to show that level of class. A similar moment for Ballon d'Or, similar moment for the best players in the world. But here is it for me. Sadio, it was supposed to be his last World Cup from my standpoint. Because you look at years to come, he might not just be the same Sadio Mane again. And it's disappointing from a Senegalese point of view. I can see the coach Cisse just so worrisome right now, because it's serious. It's painful if Sadio gets to miss the World Cup.
Thank you very much for joining.
I want to talk about my team, because I think I should start looking for a project. Gabriel Jesus has lost a lot of chances, more than any striker in the Premier League. If they are serious about the league, let them look for a striker by January. And the government club they are playing, let them take it serious. Either they concentrate on the league and FA Cup and Europa and all this, because the selection of team is a second team. Brighton is not a small team. They will beat them if they go on with that team selection. Thank you.
Thank you very much, comrade, for joining. Appreciate you. Welcome, football fan. Name, location.
Yeah, Mr. Izzy, the second time.
Right,
I want to condole with the recent injury of Sodomani, because Sodomani is a kind of player that every fan like to watch, especially in the World Cup, because of his performance and the spirit of him, fighting spirit that will ginger the whole Senegalese team, that can inspire the team to the next round of the World Cup. That is what we expect him to look. But as for now, and we don't know if he will be fit enough to take part in that tournament. And let me also make a comment concerning the Firmino dropping out from the Brazilian team. It's a nice development, because this guy, to be part of the team, is a confusion in the team. That's why the coach has made a nice choice by dropping him. Thank you for having me. Thank
you very much for joining us. We appreciate you. Well, this man, we're talking Song Heung-min, is confirmed. He will be fit enough for the World Cup. He can't miss this for anything in the world. World Cup. National are watching the World Cup. Are you ready to experience it? If you are, let's go.
Careers. Discover call 01-896-8395 or 07. Ready.
FIFA World Cup. Of the FIFA World Cup. Gary Southgate set to announce his list of 26 players for battle in Qatar. 7 players in the squad will be appearing at their first World Cup. Switzerland opened their campaign against Cameroon on November 24th before facing Brazil and Serbia in Group G. Modric has been included in Croatia's squad for what will be his 4th World Cup appearance. He's 37 now. He was voted a player of the tournament in Russia 2018, also representing Croatia at Germany 2006 and Brazil 2014. Sports event Paris and Chelsea midfielder Mateo Kovacic are also in the 26-man squad. Croatia finished runners-up in Russia and Group E alongside in Qatar along with Belgium, Canada and Morocco. West Ham's Nikola Vlasic, who's currently on loan at Torino, is also in the squad, with Scottish Premiership defenders Bona Barisic of Rangers and Celtic's Josep Juranovic also included. Dejan Lovren, former Liverpool and Southampton centre-back, who now plays at Zenit St. Petersburg, returns after playing in the 2014 and 2018 World Cup finals. These days, owing to club football and the prestige that comes with playing there, a lot of money there to be made. People have, a lot of kids these days don't understand what it means to play at the FIFA World Cup. I remember the conversation came a while ago, and then, it was a trivia actually. It said winning 4 Champions League titles and then, winning the FIFA World Cup, which would you go for if you're a player, and then, you had the opportunity of choosing that. So a lot of people rush to the Champions League. But do people really understand what it means to play at the FIFA World Cup?
It makes you a legend, absolute legend. A FIFA World Cup, if you can play there and win it, it makes you an absolute legend. Let me start by saying this. There are 2 legends in world football. When I say legend, this is what I mean. Legend is the story of your impact, such that unborn children will learn about you. And there are 2 legends in world football. The names are Pelé and Maradona. If you're born today, you get to hear about Pelé, you get to hear about Maradona. I don't know about Leo Messi. I don't know about Cristiano Ronaldo. And the bulk of the impact was at the World Cup. That's what it means. It's the toughest competition in the world. That's why whenever the conversation of the greatest in the world comes into mind, and they say, oh, Messi is the greatest, Ronaldo is the greatest, they're always...
Right, I think it's quite a conversation, and I always try to not be entangled in that greatest conversation because, I think over the years since 1930 when football became a thing in the world, we've seen players come to the stage, and so I could talk about the greatest in a particular era, right, but not greatest of all times, right, but I think I also agree. For me, if I was choosing the Champions League and the World Cup, I would choose the World Cup. First up, I love my country so much, and then
that's where arguably the best players converge. And
definitely,
that's where you strut your mettle. That's where you show your stuff.
That's right.
In fact, there's always a first-time syndrome. You've not been to the World Cup before. Most players struggle when they go to the World Cup for the first time.
In 2018, the Panamanian players were crying. When in the first game of the World Cup, where they were singing their anthem, literally crying because they know that this is the biggest stage you can ever attain when it comes to the round-the-lag game. So for me, it's a World Cup basically for me. First up to see my country in the list of winners. That's crazy.
Welcome, football fan.
Crazy.
The name and location.
Hello, guys.
Thank you for joining. Yeah, welcome.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. My name is Santi Kazola. I'm calling from Uganda. Again, please, I want to find out something from you. Is it this former PSG midfielder, this number 4 Ghana, that went for loan in the Everton? Is he not included in the Senegal squad?
Idrissa Gueye.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Idrissa Gueye.
Sure.
Yes, is he included in the Senegal squad?
We'll have to check that out. Is the Senegal out with the World Cup squad already?
I don't.
But I want to say, even if Sadio Mane do not play this ball, but mark my word and mark today's date, the final of this World Cup for 2022 will be played between these 2 countries, Senegal and Argentina. And at the final, Argentina is going to win it. But believe me, mark my word, that's the 2 countries that will play final. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much, Santi. We'll look at that squad again for you. Welcome, football fan. Name and location.
Hello.
Yes, welcome.
Good afternoon.
Yeah.
My name is Patus.
Talk to us.
I want to commend my team Chelsea against Man City today. I live in the best of luck. And for Sadio Mane, within the World Cup, it will be a very big blow for Senegal this year. Thank you.
Thank you very much for joining. I think that name is missing. All right, so that's a proper confirmation after now. Welcome, football fan. Name and location. Good to have you join us.
Good evening, Brian and the sports crew. I'm calling from Econo.
Thank you very much for joining.
I want to say that I'm not happy that Sadio Mane is not going to play for Senegal.
Well, that's not confirmed. That's not confirmed.
Okay, it's not confirmed. Okay. Please, I said it the other time. I'm a Chelsea fan. I said it. Please help me tell the Chelsea board that with Graham Potter, they are not going to go far. Please help me tell the Chelsea board that with Graham Potter, they are not going to go far because I don't see him as a coach that can handle a team as big as Chelsea. I see him as a coach that can handle a team at the lower rank of the league, English league. So thank you. That's my take for this afternoon.
Well, thank you very much for joining. Well, the name is there. You know, usual suspects. No name missing. Sadio Mane. Well, I think you saw his name there as well. So midfielders, that's where the contention is. Joseph Lopi of Social, Papa Gueye of Marseille, Papa Metasa of Tottenham Sports, Idrissa Gueye of Everton, Napolis Mendy of Leicester, Chico Kuyete of Nottingham Forest, Pate Cis of Rayo Vallecano, Crepin Diatta of Monaco, Mustafa Name of Paphos, and Madu Lom of Reading are included in their squad. Welcome, football fan. Name and location.
Brad,
Yeah.
Calabar Chelsea against Man City. My question is, why now? Chelsea morale is down, rather with injuries. They won't survive Man City onslaught. Thank you for having me.
Okay, thank you very much for joining Top Gunner. We'll talk about the fixtures in a bit. Welcome.
Yeah, Mr. Izzy. Yeah, I had fans coming to make his own prediction between Argentina and Brazil in the final. He said that there should be markets what that this team will make to the final and play together. And I want to totally disagree with him that Senegal, if they manage to go beyond round of 16, it will be enough for them and congratulate them. That's my take.
Thank you very much. No, there was a clause in yours. There was no clause in his. Yeah, that's the difference. Arsenal taking Brighton and Hove Albion by 8:45 p.m. in the EFL Cup, Carabao Cup if you like. Newcastle taking Crystal Palace. Nottingham Forest, Tottenham Sports, Southampton, Sheffield Wednesday. West Ham taking Blackburn Rovers. Wolverhampton Wanderers face Leeds United. Liverpool, Derby County. Manchester City by 9 p.m. Welcome, Chelsea. La Liga Santander returns with Almeria taking on Getafe at the Roman Sanchez Pizjuan. Sevilla versus Sociedad. Espanyol Villarreal. Mallorca Atletico Madrid. Serie A returns as well. Lecce. Clash. Liga Tanawa Torino host Sampdoria. It's FC Cologne versus Bayer Leverkusen in the Bundesliga. Eintracht Frankfurt face Hoffenheim. RB Leipzig Freiburg. Schalke for Mainz 05. Union Berlin engage Augsburg. So the sole game from the Eredivisie for today is Ajax versus
Manchester City in this particular one for him and move in readiness for the World Cup. I'm not sure he'll be part of that list, but it's what it is. It's a big game, and most of Chelsea fans will be looking forward to this game, what the antecedents would be regarding that team, because Graham Potter, from one loss to the other, it might just be for him, and it's a difficult game playing at Man City.
All right, so this man has endured some time out. Now we're talking about Graham Potter has been back-to-back. Will City make it a hat-trick of losses tonight?
Well, right. They play Man City, so definitely there's a chance I might actually lose this game. But maybe you respect Pep Guardiola to maybe tinker a little bit, play some French players, but you can actually tell that these French players can also do damage to Chelsea, who are currently struggling a lot in terms of form and all of that. So I think it's a 50-50 game. It's a chance for Chelsea to get themselves back on track. A win against City, boost their confidence and also help Graham Potter to decide what formation you should use and the kind of players you should use.
Well, for me, it's not 50-50. It's 70-30. Highly in favor of Manchester City.
I want to give Chelsea some credit because I'm expecting Graham Potter to start a very strong 11 ahead of in this particular game, because you should be expecting to see off City. You might be thinking of getting a trophy, and the Carabao Cup would be a good chance to get it. So once you see off Manchester City, you realize that you don't have much of a stand opponent anymore for that. So I'm expecting that kind of encounter.
But you realize Guardiola always loves to win, yeah?
How many? 4 times in a row right now. So, he won last season.
Yeah, Liverpool.
Lost to Liverpool. Yeah. So there's a chance.
Tough game for Chelsea.
Welcome, football fan. Name location. Okay.
Right. I don't know. I'm thinking something. You are very, very good to these people. You don't have drugs there. Many of them are suffering of malaria. But you will give drugs for them to go and rest. How can someone stand and predict World Cup final to 2 countries? Is he well? I don't know why you condone all those things.
Yeah.
There's
freedom of speech here.
Send a message to that grandport. That grandport which is there. I'm thinking something. If our toll is during the time of Abraham Moses, that man will not stay there till today. I remember Abraham Moses. May God bless him anywhere he is. And somebody giving you prediction of the greatest players in the world is correct. That man is correct there. Maradona and Pele are the greatest player in the world. Forget all about others. Go and win World Cup, let's see, for you to be the greatest. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Right, so the next conversation would be, do you need to win the World Cup to be ranked the greatest? Well, that would be for another day. Well, team news is that Yao Cancelo's straight red card on the weekend means he's suspended for this one. Calvin Phillips and Kyle Walker both remain out. N'Golo Kante is a long-term injury concern for Chelsea. Kepa Arrizabalaga is out with a foot injury. Ben Chilwell, Wesley Fofana, Reece James won't feature for Chelsea until after the World Cup. Sidelined with a hamstring injury. Well, happy birthday to everyone celebrating their birthdays. You have my best wishes.
Happy birthday. Miss Unibong, what's now Mrs. Unibong Foneka. Are my best wishes.
Best wishes.
Yeah.
Married.
Yeah.
All right. So, thank you.
Present.
Thank you, Mari.
Not married with a child.
Yeah. So, thank you, Mari. Thank you, Sodorex. I beg your pardon. Sodorex is away on
international.
He's off to San Jose.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
Lion, thank you very much for your time. Appreciate you. I'm Bright James. Well, I'm out. We'll back tomorrow.
Information and entertainment make a good collabo.